And we are back with some more Nova Scotia Supernovas franchise mode. And in this one, we have the Year 7 playoff run. Coming off our best regular season to date, we finished 54, 21, and 7 with 115 points. Finished second in the division, only second to the powerhouse Buffalo Sabres, 66, 13, and 3. That is absolutely insane. So if we intend to make it to the Stanley Cup, then we're probably going to have to go through the Buffalo Sabres at some point. But luckily, we shouldn't have to face them in round 1, at the very least. So let's see, with that, who we are going up against in round number 1. Look at that. Ivan Provorov has been nominated for the Norris Trophy. And Rod Brindamore, for his second year in a row, also up for the Jack Adams. And as expected, based off the standings, it is the Florida Panthers who we are going up against. They finished with 106 points on the season. Not to mention they have Spencer Knight in goal. They have Barkov as their captain, 4.5-star ability. Offensively, looks like they have some good players, but obviously no one even close to who we have on our roster in terms of offensive production. As seen by Jaeger, Peter, and Lodnia, all three of these guys have their top point scorer beat. And that's our whole first line, so I'm expecting this to be a high-scoring series, at least for us. But then again, if we take a look at their goals against per game, they're third in the league with a 2.6. So it's possible that they could just shut us out completely. But I would say that's the only chance they have in this series. Their goal scoring is nowhere even close to ours. I mean, they are way down there in 20th, tied for 19th technically, of the league. We're up there in second with a 4.20. Offensively, we definitely have the advantage. That is no secret. But once again, I believe the determining factor in this series will be how Spencer Knight and Florida's defensive core play. And game number 1 will be a 4-3 Nova Scotia victory. 3 stars of the game are Liljegren, Barkov, and Stenberg. Shots are 39-32. We outshot, we outscored. First period summer, you have Eriksson scoring from Lekkerimaki and Liljegren for the first goal of the game. Second period, you have Lekkerimaki from Chmielewski and Eriksson, so that line getting on the board once again. Then you have McCallum and Duclair for Florida back-to-back to tie it up. Then Liljegren from Nemesnikov and Stenberg at 17:35 of the second period to give us a 3-2 lead. In the third period, you have Alexander Barkov, their captain, late in the third period to get it tied and send it to overtime, where Ivan Lodnia scores on the power play from Stenberg, and Liljegren, our captain, gets the job done this time and gives us the 1-0 series lead. And in game number 2, we have a 5-3 victory this time. Shots are 42-36 in favor of your Nova Scotia Supernovas. 3 stars of the game, Lekkerimaki, Allen, and Eriksson. First period, you have Koss for the Florida Panthers getting on the board first. Then in the second period, you have Duclair scoring, so it's 2-0 Florida. Then not long after, you have Lekkerimaki scoring his second of the series from Eriksson and Provorov. And then the third period is where we really get going. Stenberg from Jaeger gets it tied, and then Lekkerimaki from Klee and Chmielewski gets us the lead. Allen scores to make it tied for Florida, but then Jaeger from Lodnia and Eriksson, and then Chmielewski from Lekkerimaki and Eriksson with his 4th assist of the series gets us the 5-3 win. And in game number 3, we have a 4-3 win. How do you like that? Shots are 52-32 this time. So we dominated in this game overall. 3 stars of the game, Nemesnikov, Fedotov, and Liljegren. First period summary, you have Fedotov scoring first for Florida. So Florida scoring first in 2 out of the 3 games so far, I believe. But we are currently up 3-0 in the series. That's what matters most. Then late in the period, you have Nemesnikov getting his first of the series from Stenberg and Liljegren. And that is it for 1. In the second period, you have Nemesnikov getting an unassisted goal at 7:59, followed up by Huberdeau for Florida. And then later in the period, you have Stenberg from Zetterberg and Nemesnikov giving us the 3-2 lead. Third period, you have Alex Young for Florida getting the game tied, sending it to overtime once again, where Linus Eriksson scores from Tuck and Nemesnikov, and that is the 4-3 victory. So maybe not as dominant as I thought we were, given the fact that it went to overtime, but in terms of the shots, just in terms of shots, we have definitely outplayed the Florida Panthers in basically every game so far. And hopefully that stays true here in game number 4, so that we can just move into round number 2 with no worries at all. And since this is a potentially series clinching game, let's go into it. First period underway. And that'll be an early 1-0 lead for your Nova Scotia Supernovas. Stenberg with his third goal of the playoffs, assisted by Ladnia and Kiviharju. And I believe that was on the power play as well. And there's another one, Alexander Zetterberg with his first of the playoffs from Karimaki and Odelius. And that is the end of the first. Looking good so far. And there's one for Florida, Angus Cruikshank from Mark Delgado. Cuts the deficit in half. And there's another one, Timur Mukanov for Florida. Gets the game tied from Barkov and Fedotov. So this is now an interesting game as we head into the third period, tied 2-2. Here we go. Who will break this tie here in the third period? It will be Otto Stenberg with his fourth goal of the playoffs on the 4-on-4. Nonetheless, can we hold this lead? Please, yes. Ivan Provorov with his first goal of the playoffs from Ingram and Zetterberg. Gives us the 2-goal lead once again. Can we hold it? And yes, we do, but just for good measure, Khmelevsky gets one from Stenberg and Jonas Wu with his first assist of the playoffs. And that'll be, oh, nope, not quite. Dominic Peter gets another one from Jaeger and Ladnia to make it a 6-2 win. Yes, indeed. Okay, just had to make sure. There's still 5 seconds left on the clock. You never know. So that'll be all she wrote for this series. We sweep the Florida Panthers in convincing fashion, especially in this last game. Shots were 44-30. 3 stars a game, Zetterberg, Ladnia, and Stenberg. I mean, they took it to overtime a couple times, but besides that, I was expecting a little bit more of a challenge from the Florida Panthers, not gonna lie. So that was a much easier series than I thought it would be. Just gonna do a brief stat check. So wow, we have 8 points so far for Otto Stenberg, who absolutely tore up that series against the Florida Panthers, along with Karimaki and Eriksson, who also did a phenomenal job. Nemestikov, Khmelevsky, Ladnia, Liljegren, all point per game. So offense coming in huge in that series. And now let's see, Ivanov is a 915 save percentage. Not bad. So going into round number 2 on a high note. And with that, let's see who we have. Oh boy. Getting the big guns out of the way early. The Buffalo Sabres in round number 2. Oh my goodness. 66-13-3 during the regular season. And I believe they won their previous series against Detroit in 6 games. Yeah, so if we win this series, nothing's stopping us. We already got a look at the Buffalo Sabres roster in the last one, I believe, but I'll just take a look at it again. Wright, Portillo, Power, Dahlin, they got it all. This is going to be one heck of a battle. It's going to be one heck of a battle considering their record during the regular season. So we're going to have to give it our all for sure. Now, the good news is David Jiricek might be coming back soon. It says 1 to 2 week status. Now, I want to put, as much as I want to put him in, I'm not going to do that because he's coming off an injury that he's been on since November 16th. Like, he hasn't played in a long time. I don't want to, rush him back into the lineup and have him potentially re-aggravate something. And even if he doesn't re-aggravate something, he just may not play well, given that he hasn't touched the ice in almost 6 months, So as good as he is, I'm going to leave him out until he's completely ready. So even if that means leaving him out of this series, that's what we're going to have to do. I'm not going to risk his long-term health as a means of potentially getting by the Buffalo Sabres, as getting us a slight more chance of getting past the Buffalo Sabres. Because we're talking about a guy who has only played 43 regular season games in the past 2 seasons. So I don't want to, have him getting any sort of lingering injury that's going to last for the rest of his career, Just let him rest here. That's my decision until he's completely healed. I'm not getting Jiricek back in until he is completely 100% ready to go. And with that being said, let's get into game number 1 versus the Buffalo Sabres. What do we have? We have a 2-1 win. That is huge. Let's go, boys. That is huge. Shots 33-29, so pretty defensive. Not to mention the score only 2-1. 3 stars of the game, Odelius, Hayes, and Peter. So first period summary, Peter gets the first goal of the game from Odelius and Ladnia. Then second period, you have Hayes scoring for Buffalo. Third period, no goals, which leads us into overtime where Alex Khmelevsky gets the goal from Kiviharju and Eriksson to get us up in the series 1-0. That is huge. Here we go. Game number 2 against Buffalo is going to be a 6-2 win. Hello? Excuse me? What? We're up 2-0 against Buffalo? I was not expecting that, gotta admit. Shots are 47-38, so Buffalo actually outshot us. But our goaltender, Mr. Ivanov, gets the job done with a 45 save performance and is the third star of the game. In my opinion, he should have been the first star of the game. That's a performance like that against a team like this. That's first star material. Good job, Ivanov. 3 stars of the game. Ivanov, as mentioned, followed up by Nemestikov as the second star. And Jonas Wu is the first star with a 2-assist game. First period, you have Ryan Johnson scoring for Buffalo late in the period, gives them a 1-0 lead. Second period, you have Ingram for our first goal of the game early in the period from Wu and Peterka. Then you have Chychrun from Chmielewski and Lekkerimäki, giving us the 2-1 lead. But then Shane Wright with the unassisted goal gets it tied. And in the third period, we score 4 unanswered as Linus Eriksson scores an unassisted goal at 10:14 to give us the lead, followed up by Nemestikov from Stenberg and Zetterberg, and then Peter from Jaeger and Chychrun, and then Nemestikov from Kiviharju and Wu. Late in the period, 19:49, that is with 11 seconds left on the clock to give us the 2-0 series lead. So I'm hoping we didn't just burn out all of our offense for the series right there. Because we're going to need plenty of it to go around for sure in this series if we intend on beating Buffalo. But so far, so good. Here we go. Game number 3. And there it is. So you knew Buffalo was going to have their game. They win 5-1. Shots are 30-22. So not really a whole lot going on there offensively, at least not in terms of shots. But they made their shots count for sure. 5-1 is the final score. 3 stars of the game. Hayes, Olofsson, and Bykov. But first period, looks like they just ran away with it early. Krebs, Fantilli, and Wright get the goals in the first period for Buffalo. Second period, Aaron Kiviharju gets our only goal of the game, assisted by Ladnia and Peter. And then Gavin Hayes with 2 in the third period to seal the deal for the Buffalo Sabres. That makes it a 2-1 series. Braden Yeager's injured. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. 1%? 3-4. Grade 2 concussion. Oh, that's so bad in a series like this. Oh, that stings. That stings, especially without Jiricek still. I mean, he's day-to-day now, but once again, I'm not putting him in until he's 100%. So that's... Oof. You hate to see it. It's going so well up until that. So I suppose that means Nemestikov's going on the first line now. No, Rod Brindamore is going to put Chmielewski there with Stenberg and Lodnia, with Tuck, Ingram, and Lekkerimäki go on the second, and then Eriksson, Nemestikov, Onish go on the third, Klee, Peter, and Peterka on the fourth. All right, we'll see what happens. That's a very unfortunate injury to one of our most talented players. That's not what you like to see against one of the best teams of all time, pretty much. If not the best team of all time, at least based off regular season record. Like that's just insane. All right, here we go into game number 4. Hoping for the best here. Can we get the win on home ice? No, we cannot. It is tied 2-2 now in this series. Ooh, that hurts. Not a single goal in this game for your Nova Scotia Supernovas. Shots are 35-32, so got a fair amount of shots on net, just nothing went in. 3 stars of the game, Portillo with the shutout, Fantilli, and then Rotondi. Here we go, game number 5. Who's it going to be? Oof, a 7-4 win for Buffalo. That sucks. We got started so well, too. Shots are 47-34 for Buffalo. 3 stars of the game, Bykov, Knees, and Potapov. First period summary, you have Kiviharju scoring first from Wu and Eriksson, but then shortly followed by Quinn for the 1-1 score. Heading into the second period, where Gavin and Fantilli score back-to-back for Buffalo, giving them the 3-1 lead. Lodnia scores for us from Nemestikov and Odelius, getting us within 1, but then third period, they kind of ran away with things. Krebs with the goal from Wright and Quinn to give them the 2-goal lead. Then we make it tied, actually, with goals by Ingram from Peterka and Tuck, and then Lekkerimäki from Chmielewski and Liljegren. But then they got 3 goals in the span of 57 seconds toward the end of the third period to get the 7-4 victory. Gauthier, Potapov, and Knees. That's terrible. That is a terrible way to go into game number 6. All right, so we're down 3-2 now. We are clearly missing the presence of not only Juricek, who obviously went down very early in the year, but Braden Yeager, who went down in game number 3, I believe it was. And we are now in a position where we have to win 2 in a row. I mean, I guess you had to expect Buffalo of all teams to put up a fight, right? But it hasn't really been a fight in the last 3 games. It's been more like an all-out beatdown by the Buffalo Sabres on your Nova Scotia Supernovas. So if we want any chance, we're going to have to play incredibly solid defense, which isn't exactly our forte. I mean, we're not bad at playing defense, clearly as seen by the team stats when we last checked them, but offense is clearly our thing, and we need to be able to score on Mr. Portillo or Luca Reinen, whoever's been in that. I think it's been Portillo, in order to even have a chance here. So come on, boys. This is a series clinching game potentially, so we are going into it. Come on, Nova Scotia. And not starting out the game on a good note. Ivan Provorov gets a 2-minute minor for slashing. Not good. He's also our best defenseman, so gonna be missing him on the penalty kill. Let's see what happens. Yep. Oh, wait, no. I thought we got scored on. Linus Eriksson gets a shorthanded goal from Odelius and Kivi Harju to get us up 1-0. Okay, was not expecting that, but I will certainly take it. And there's another one, Dominic Peter from Ladia and Nemesnikov. We're up 2-0 now. So obviously we've been up against these guys before, and they've shown us what they can do offensively. So I have no, I know for sure we haven't won this game yet. We need to get another probably 3 goals at least. Because as Buffalo has shown, including on this goal from Fantilli, they are perfectly capable of staging a comeback. So here we go. And that is all for 1. Heading into the second period with a 1-goal lead. Come on, Nova Scotia. Halfway through the period, and Nikita Onishko gets the goal to make it 3-1 from Khmelevsky and Eriksson. Eriksson's been getting a lot of assists in these playoffs so far. So keep it up, bud. And let's try to close out this game here. I mean, I know we're in the second period, but goal from Shane Wright gets the Buffalo Sabres back within 1. We cannot afford to give them this much breathing room. Even though they're down by 1, that's nothing for a team like Buffalo. We need to get, once again, at least 2 or 3 more. So let's keep up the pressure in the third period and just don't worry about game 7 until we actually get there, okay? And there's a hooking penalty for Dominic Peter early in the period. Another shorty, maybe? Another shorty? No? Okay, that's fine. But Jordan Gavin gets the goal for them. We are tied at 3 with 14:45 remaining in the third period. Oh boy, tripping penalty for Ryan Johnson of Buffalo. So we're on the power play. Can the power play do anything? Nope. Okay, that's fine. Are we going to take it to overtime? Yes, we are. We are headed to overtime in game number 6 against Buffalo. Whew. Come on, boys. You know what to do. Get it done. Come on, Nova Scotia. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? We're headed to a second overtime. Oh boy, is it going to be early? We have a holding penalty on Linus Eriksson. Oh boy. And there it is. We have a goal. Max Nemesnikov with the game-winning goal. We go to 7. Hoo-wee. Okay, this has been one heck of a series. Shots are 51-41. That was certainly an entertaining game to watch if you were there as a fan in the stands. 3 stars of the game, Eriksson, Gavin, and Onishko. Oh, David Juricek apparently ready for contact, but that doesn't mean he could be played yet. It would still be best if he was held out of games, yeah. So I don't think Juricek is going to be making an appearance in this series, but it sounds like he'll be back within, I would say, a week. Or maybe even a couple of days, just based off what I'm seeing here. David Juricek back soon with the report there. So let's do our best for Juricek so that he has the opportunity to play in these playoffs still after this game. Here we go. Game 7 against Buffalo. Who is it going to be? First period underway. And there's an early goal for your Nova Scotia Supernovas, John Peterka from Chychrun and Eriksson with his 9th assist of the playoffs. And there's one for Buffalo. Gavin Hayes gets them on the board. We are tied at 1. Definitely not an easy series here. And there's another one for Gavin. And that'll get Buffalo up by 1 heading into the second period. We have a cross-checking penalty on Peyton Krebs. So maybe a bit of an advantage for us in the power play. Timothy Liljegren with the holding penalty. Not what you like to see. Oh boy. All right, we killed it off. That's good. And we have a goal from David Klee from Alex Tuck and Ivan Provorov with his 2nd assist of the playoffs. And we are heading to the third period tied at 2. Hooking penalty for Ryan Johnson. Come on, boys. Convert here. Yes, Kivi Harju from Khmelevsky and Lodnia. We're up by 1. But don't play around with that against this team. Get another. Oh my goodness, Matthew Knees. Right afterward, basically, from Kunin and Gavin. We're tied at 3 now. Early in the third period. Come on, Nova Scotia. Dominic Peter with the interference. Maybe a shorty? Maybe a shorty? No? Okay. Halfway through the period. And there's a goal for Dominic Peter. He makes up for it from Khmelevsky. We are now up by 1 once again. Can we hold it? Please, 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 please. Yes! Zetterberg with the goal from Chikrin and Odelius. And only 8 seconds remaining. We win the game and the series against the 66 13-3 Buffalo Sabres. Wow. What a series. I was holding my breath there towards the end. You could probably tell I'm kind of winded right now. That was crazy. Wow. Shots are 37-36 in favor of Buffalo, but we get the game 5-3. 3 stars of the game, Chikrin, Gavin, and Khmelevsky. All right, so we have round number 3 against the Washington Capitals now. And after beating the Buffalo Sabres in 7 games, this team should go all the way. It really should. Anything less is a disappointment. It really is. So let's just go into this series and roll through the Washington Capitals and whoever awaits us in the Stanley Cup final. So here we go. Game 1 against Washington, sim game. That'll be a 3-2 win for Washington. Ooh. So it appears our high has been brought down to earth after winning against the Buffalo Sabres. The Washington Capitals bring us back into reality as they do manage to pull off the win. We outshot them 43-30, but they get the win. 3 stars of the game, Roslovic, Ingram, and Shostak. First period, you have McMichael with 2 goals, followed up by Ingram from Eriksson and Lekarimaki. Nothing in the second period. You have Zetterberg scoring from Ingram and Liljegren in the third. So it went to overtime where Cameron Van Sickle gets the goal for Washington to put them up 1-0. And there it is. David Jiricek, finally back after his very long injury, has rejoined us for the playoffs. It's perfect timing too, because Kivi Harju actually just got injured. So Jiricek get back on the first defensive pair with Ivan Provorov. Hopefully that makes a bit of a difference in this series. All right, here we go. Game number 2 time. And that'll be a 3-1 win for your Nova Scotia Supernovas. Shots were 47-35 in favor of your Supernovas. 3 stars of the game, Shostak, Schneider, and Zetterberg. So they actually had 2 of the 3 stars, one being their goaltender, of course. First period, you have Peter from Zetterberg to make it 1-0. Second period, you have Cholowski with the goal to make it tied at 1. And in the third period, you have Chikrin from Nemestikov and Lekarimaki, and then Zetterberg from Stenberg and Khmelevsky to get the 3-1 win and the 1-1 series tie. And game number 3, you have a 4-3 Washington win. So we outshot them once again, 43-34, but they outscored us. 3 stars of the game, Clements Jiricek with the assist, and then Hicketts was the 3rd star of the game for Washington. First period summary, you have an unassisted goal by Khmelevsky. He gets us on the board first. In the second period, you have Dominic Peter, so we take the 2-0 lead from Lekarimaki and Provorov, but then Yarventi scores for Washington. Lodny on the power play from Peter and Jiricek makes it 3-1, but then Clements scores for Washington to make it 3-2, heading into the third, and then Hendrix Lapierre and Connor McMichael with back-to-back goals to give Washington the 4-3 win and the 2-1 series lead. There you go. That is what I'm talking about. 7-4 win against Washington. Shots were only 30-39 this time in favor of Washington, so they got more shots. We made our shots count, though. 3 stars of the game, Peter, Eriksson, and Liljegren. First period summary, you have Klee scoring from Tuck and Peterka. Then you have Tippett and Robertson scoring for Washington. Then you have Linus Eriksson scoring from Lekarimaki and Liljegren to make it 2-2. Second period, you have Hicketts with the goal for Washington. And then Eriksson from Lodnia and Peter. And then Lapierre with the goal late in the period to give Washington a 4-3 lead. But then starting the third period, it's all Supernovas. You have Jiricek with his first goal of the playoffs coming back from injury. Nemestikov gets the assist on that one. And then you have Peter from Chikrin and Nemesnikov. Then you have Khmelevsky from Stenberg and Odelius. And then Ingram with the empty net from Lekarimaki and Eriksson to give us the 7-4 win and the 2-2 series tie. Here we go. Game number 5 will be a 6-3 win for your Nova Scotia Supernovas. And this time it was an all-around dominance by your Supernovas. Shots were 47-21 in favor of us. 3 stars of the game: Ladnia, Nemestikov, and Eriksson. First period summary, you have Klee from Peterka and Ashton getting us started. Then you have Juricek on the power play from Ladnia and Khmelevsky. We really missed Juricek. Then Ladnia from Nemestikov and Provorov gives us the 3-0 lead. Late in the period, you have Eklund getting the goal for Washington, cuts the deficit to 2. Second period, McMichael with the goal, cuts the deficit to 1. But in the third period, we put things away. Eriksson with the goal from Lekkerimäki and Ingram to make it 4-2. Nemestikov from Eriksson and Ladnia. Then Clemens with the goal for Washington, but then Nemestikov gets it back from Ladnia and Peter to get us a 6-3 win in game number 5. We are up 3-2 in the series. And game number 6 will be a 4-0 win and a 4-2 series victory. I didn't feel like going into that one. My voice is honestly starting to go, and now we still have to do the Stanley Cup Finals, so trying to save my voice a little bit. Shots were 39-25 in favor of your Nova Scotia Supernovas. 3 stars of the game: Eriksson, Ingram, and Juricek with the 2-assist game. First period, you have Peter from Ingram and Eriksson. Then you have Eriksson from Juricek and Ingram in the second period. Third period, you have Zetterberg from Juricek and Stenberg, and then Stenberg from Odelius and Provorov gives us the 4-0 shutout victory. And who do we have in the Stanley Cup Finals? We have the Colorado Avalanche, who were 44-31-7 in the regular season. So I believe that is, out of the teams we faced so far in these playoffs, the weakest regular season record of the 4 teams that we have faced. But still, they're in the Stanley Cup Final for a reason, so no reason to take them lightly. After all, they do have Makar, they have McKinnon, they have Rantanen. Those are 3 5-star players on their roster, so definitely no room to take these guys lightly. All right, here we go. Game 1 against Colorado. We have a 4-3 Colorado win. Not what you like to see. Shots are 36-33 in favor of us, but they get the win. 3 stars of the game: Olsson, Odelius, and McKinnon. No scoring in the first. Second period, you have Khmelevsky getting the first goal of the game from Zetterberg and Peter. Then you have Wilk with the goal. And then Peterka from Klee and Odelius gives us the 2-1 lead. But then third period, Olsson, Kalisti, and Rantanen with the goals for Colorado. We get a late goal from Odelius from Eriksson and Lekkerimäki, but too little too late. Ooh, Adam Ingram is injured. How long? Oh my goodness, 1%. That means it's a long-term injury. Strained hamstring for 2 to 3 weeks. He's out for this series. Ugh. So with Jaeger and Ingram out, that is now 2 centers down. Definitely not ideal. So we're going to have to rely on Nemestikov and Khmelevsky there, who I believe are our only natural centers left. Stenberg and Ladnia are natural wingers. So going to have to hope that these two can make do as centers, and that these two up here, Nemestikov and Khmelevsky, can really carry the forward core from the center position, because we're going to need them for sure. Ooh, and that's going to be a 2-1 Colorado win. Not what you like to see. Shots at 27-26. Very low offensive game. 3 stars of the game: Ranta, Nemestikov, and Strachey. So first period, Strachey scores, followed by Peter from Nemestikov and Lekkerimäki. Second period, you have Rantanen scoring, and then no scoring for the rest of the game. So, yeah, pretty uneventful. And unfortunately, we are now down 2-0 in the series. So we are definitely hurting without our best center in Jaeger, and then one of our many good centers in Ingram. We need to be able to find a way around that, because neither of them are coming back for this series. Definitely not Jaeger. He's out for a couple more months now at least, yeah. And then Ingram for 2 to 3 weeks, so he's not back in this series. So we absolutely need to find a way to win without them. Here we go. Game number 3 will be a 7-6 Colorado victory. You hate to see it. Shots at 39-33. We outshot them. But once again, they outscored, even if just by a little bit. And it was an offensive heavy game too. 3 stars of the game: McKinnon, Zetterberg, and Rantanen. So first period, you have McKinnon and Makar scoring. Second period, looks like this is where most of the action happened. Adanovsky for Colorado, and then McKinnon, and then Wilkes. So they actually got 5 unanswered goals. But after that, we got it into gear and said, here's 5 of our own. Klee from Eriksson and Juricek, then Peter from Zetterberg and Nemestikov, Zetterberg from Provorov and Peter, Zetterberg again from Peter and Nemestikov, and then Nemestikov from Peter and Zetterberg. So we're all tied up heading to the third. But then, unfortunately, they got just 1 more. Oh my goodness, that Nathan McKinnon dagger with 5 seconds left. That is unfortunate. Coughlin had the goal as well for Colorado early in the period. We get a goal late from Juricek, from Khmelevsky and Nemestikov, but man, that McKinnon late goal. That's basically the dagger in this series. Gotta say, this does not look favorable. Considering that they've had the momentum the whole time, basically. Between having 3 goals to open up the third period in game number 1, and then being able to shut us down 2-1 in game number 2, that set the stage for an offensive game number 3, but being that they were able to not only score 5 and then get scored on 5 times, but be able to come back from that, and in just about the most dramatic way possible, with McKinnon scoring with 5 seconds left, they have all the momentum. They do. Even though we managed to score 5 there, which got us back into the game, that one goal by McKinnon is an absolute, that's the kind of goal that just takes the wind out of your entire team. We do not have a good chance here in game number 4. We'll go into it still, but it is not looking good, unfortunately. And we are starting out game number 4 in period number 1 with a goal by Oscar Olsson on Colorado. Gives them a 1-0 lead. And there's 2. Yeah, Trey Wilk gives them the 2-0 lead early in the first period. And there's number 3, Rantanen. Yeah, we don't have a chance. No shot. And there's number 4, Trey Wilk. With 2 seconds left in the first, there's no chance. This is what I'm saying. They had the momentum from the start of the series, really, and they have not looked back. Yep, there's number 5. Yeesh. This is brutal. And McKinnon with a 6th goal of the game. This is, oh my goodness. 7-0, and we're not even at the halfway point of the game. What? Oh, man. Okay, at least we got a goal. Khmelevsky from Lekariemaki and Stenberg. That's embarrassing. That is just, oh my goodness, McKinnon. 8-1. How far can this go? 9-1. Holy moly. Are we about to see 10? Are we about to see 10? Unsportsmanlike conduct. Are we about to see 10 from the Colorado Avalanche? We might. We very well might. Lekariemaki with a hip strain. That is just the salt in the wound. So no 10-goal game, but man, was that embarrassing. We absolutely just got destroyed by the Colorado Avalanche. It wasn't even close. Even that game that was 7-6, where we could have won, it was over from the moment they got those first 5 goals. Even though we came back, it was still over. Wow, that is something that I hope never happens again. Shots are 45-34 in favor of Colorado. They just flat out dominated. 3 stars of the game. Strachey with the 5-point game. Annunen, their goaltender, with the 33 save performance, and Wilk with a 4-point game. Wow, that was just a flat out pummeling in the Stanley Cup Finals. And we managed to beat Buffalo too, so, that just makes this loss against Colorado even worse. That's terrible. How long is Lekariemaki out for? 1 to 2 months. All right, so he'll be back before next season, but man. Well, we'll take a look at the final stats for the playoffs, I suppose, and then we will move into the offseason. 17 points for Khmelevsky and Lekariemaki, 15 for Lodnia, the captain. Zetterberg with 14. He did well. Stenberg with 14 in 21 games. Odelius with 9. 7 for Juricek in 9 games. So he played well. He played very well. It's just unfortunate that he was injured for as long as he was during the regular season. Kiviharju, Provorov, and Liljegren all with 7 as well. Then you have 6 for Klee, Peterka, and Chikrin. 4 for Wu and Tuck. 2 for Onishko, and 1 for Ashton. Let's see goaltenders. Looks like Peterson got in there for a little bit. 902 save percentage for Ivanov. 900 for Peterson. Yeah, not ideal. But honestly, most of Ivanov's save percentage of the 902 is probably from the Colorado series, let's be honest. Not only did we get scored on 9 times in the last game, there was that 7-6 game as well, right? So yeah, I don't fully blame Ivanov there. They just flat out dominated. We were not prepared to face the Colorado Avalanche whatsoever. I mean, even though, yeah, there were close games, sure, but in the end, they had the momentum in every single one of those games. I can't say that was a success in any way. I really can't. Not even the games that were 1-goal games, which was every other game before that last game. Yeah, that's disappointing. So we do have some guys coming up on contracts here. Boo, he is very angry. I don't think he'll end up re-signing. Well, actually, he does appear to want to negotiate, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure where he would even fit in. Zetterberg, I do want to re-sign. Peterka, I may or may not re-sign. I don't know. Tuck, I'm going to have to release because he's making way too much money. And we do have the contracts of Kiviharju and Stenberg being renewed. And they're both making, I believe, around 3.5. So that's a lot of additional cap that we're adding to the books. And frankly, after Tuck's performance these playoffs with only 4 points in 20 games, I don't feel all that inclined to re-sign him. And with the amount of forward depth that we have anyway, it's not like it would hurt us to cut Tuck at this point. He only had 35 points this past regular season. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the 4 points in the playoffs. So I think we can afford to let go of Tuck. Klee, I'm not sure. I'll probably just re-sign him just because he's young. So I think the only one who I am almost certain that I'm releasing is Tuck out of these guys, because I would like to try to bring everyone else back if I can. So yeah, with all that being said, I think that is it for this one. And the next one, we will get to the Year 7 offseason with your Nova Scotia Supernovas. See you guys then.